sectors, there have been some investors that have come out of our initiative as a forum in driving investment in the country. Last but not least, the Vice Chancellor is present, the students' community, and of course the government. Our advancement and commitment to drive high-quality education that propels development of our youth is key for the tomorrow that we need through our youths. The tripartite cooperation between the government, the private sector, the academic sector is key in fostering development and high learning environment for our students. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much indeed. This is a wonderful conference. Sweet music I'm listening to. The next presenter is going to be Nkosi Kona Holdings, South Africa. Nkosi Kona.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, the Chancellor of all state universities, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa. I assume it's not the correct pronunciation. Oh, okay. All protocol. I can identify with the fact that it changed.
I'm sure it will go, if you did come here, this would really go a long way in alleviating some of the difficulties our students are experiencing in acquiring learning gadgets because of foreign currency. This pocket I see here might just have the clue. Thank you very much indeed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the ones that are now coming, please note that we are allocating only 5 minutes to each of you. So our next presenter now is going to be Liquid Telecom, and that is Mr. Makamure. Thank you.
Where else is there a land like ours? Where else can you see the smoke that thunders and feel the spray of its majesty? Where else in the world can you work hard in the urban jungle, then rest in the real wild? Where else does the soil hold a richness that can feed all of Africa? I need to know. Where else in the world is there a nation that rings with the sound of a new freedom? Where else do people rally together for a dream with no divide between race, color, and culture? Where else does the flag make citizens rise with pride to shape a nation? Where else can you reinvent the future and imagine new possibilities? Where else in the world can you dream of building cities, roads, and where tomorrow is a blank canvas? Where else does connectivity mean freedom and everyone can access it? Tell me what other people have creativity running through their blood that overcomes every challenge. Where else do people innovate on the corner of every street to the rhyme of local artists? Where else can you lead the change and start today? Where else do you feel the warmth in a smile where every stranger feels like a friend? There is nowhere else like Zimbabwe.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa, all protocol observed. Indeed, where else? This is Zimbabwe, and if we don't tell our story, no one else will. I want to begin by challenging all investors who are here and all participants. As Liquid Telecom here, we've offered and we're providing internet now at 200 megabits per second as I speak now in this conference. And I want to challenge, where else do you find that kind of coverage? I'll just read from Luke 14, verse 28, which says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it, lest after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him." And with that verse, I want to acknowledge Professor Dr. Amon Murugwira for providing the facilities and the time for all of us to sit and plan. This is what the Bible says. Now, the second thing, quickly, Professor told me that that video was not part of my 5 minutes. Now, you've all been listening to the president from the day of inauguration, and he's got a slogan on business that he's been saying. But now, I'm going to challenge the president because I've got my slogan, and I would like you to convey his slogan and my slogan. Now, I call this mine because I've taken it and I'm moving with it. And let me read it for you. My slogan says, "Zimbabwe is open for business." Okay, I'll quickly just take you through, can I take you through who Liquid are, what we do. But before I do that, I want to take you back to 2016 Rio Olympics and the name Usain Bolt. You all know what he did, but I think a lot of people also expected him to win the 3 gold medals that he did. Do you know why? It was because of his track record, because of what he had done before. So I want to take you through what Liquid has done in Zimbabwe so far, so that you can understand what we are pledging and what we are committing to do with Professor Murugwira and his team. Firstly, Liquid Telecom is a leading independent data, voice and IP provider in Eastern, Central and Southern Africa. We supply wholesale fiber, satellite communications, radio communications and international carrier services to other telecommunications companies here in Zimbabwe and in the region, to businesses, to government institutions, and to the homes. In Zimbabwe, Liquid is composed of ZOL, which you know is our retail arm, and the Liquid, which provides the wholesale and the enterprise to universities and companies. And then we've got another company called Liquid Payments. There was a speaker here who spoke about video conferencing and the requirement for video conferencing. We provide that. And this is part of the, some of the items that we'll be sitting down with the team from Professor's ministry to provide video conference. We provide video conference, and we also provide voice communication. And our voice communication is designed such that within the universities, from office to office, is free, and we intend to provide it, and we're going to provide it so that intra-universities from UZ to MSU to Chinoi, it will be free.
Wonderful.
Okay, a quick look at our coverage. From that map, you can see that we cover the whole of Zimbabwe, actually via most of the main roads, and also we have underground and aerial. I won't go into detail on that, but that is just to show you what we've done so far. That one is a map of Africa. Liquid Zimbabwe, Liquid Telecom Fiber, or as an IAP, started in Zimbabwe. And I came here, and initially I came alone, and then I had 6 people to assist me. The very first centimeter of fiber for the whole Liquid group was done in Zimbabwe, in Chisipite. So you understand, Liquid, although now international, is truly Zimbabwean, and we intend to build Zimbabwe with the vision that the president is expressing. And I'm also proud to tell you that we are in 13 African countries now, but we started here in Zimbabwe. And we've just recently, this last month, acquired 2 more operating licenses in the DRC and Sudan. Now I'll go quickly just to tell you what we have done so far. Liquid Zimbabwe, so far now from 2009, when we started, we've done more than 18,900, which is almost 19,000 kilometers of fiber in Zimbabwe only. The whole group, the whole Liquid group, has got 50,000 optic fiber deployed in all the other countries. So you can see as a percentage, the fiber that has been deployed in Zimbabwe is greater than any other country. Where else can you get that? Our equipped capacity, Liquid Telecom, we're capable. I told you that we were giving here 200 megabits per second, but our equipped capacity is 80,000 megabits per second. 80,000. The other providers are providing 21.6 thousand. So the total for Zimbabwe is 101,625,000. The utilization of internet or bandwidth in Zimbabwe is 48,000 megabits per second. Liquid Telecom is providing out of that 26,000, and the other providers are providing about 21.7 thousand. Okay, since the day that I told you that we put the first centimeter of fiber in Zimbabwe, we have now invested more than $258 million. We have a permanent employment complement of 254, but indirectly through our contractors and subcontractors, we've got more than 4,000. Now, let's go quickly to the reason why I'm here. Now you know who we are. We are in 12, we are providing internet to 12 universities, but we intend, with the participation and cooperation that we are going to have with the ministry, to provide and build fiber into all universities, into all colleges. So that is our pledge, that is our commitment. The details of that we'll discuss with the ministry, and we are going to build the smart cities that they want. We'll provide Wi-Fi, LTE, internet for those to make them smart university cities. And Professor has just said time. I think he forgot that my 5 minutes was taken by the video. We acknowledge that universities are the center of knowledge for information and innovation. So we are going to assist and work with the ministry to build innovation hubs. We're already doing that in other countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Makamure. I know you promise what you deliver. Could we now turn to Dr. Mtanga Korako? I don't know what that is. Now I'm going to turn.
Good afternoon to you, distinguished guests. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and Chancellor of the State Universities, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, all protocol observed. I feel highly honored to represent our company Korako Africa Development and to be given the platform by the Zimbabwean government to display what we see fit for the development of education sector in Zimbabwe. I'm thrilled and inspired by the Zimbabwean government's strategic vision, which prioritizes economic recovery. And as Korako, we have taken a bold step in making a contribution towards this agenda. Certainly, our entry point has been the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology Development for two specific reasons. The first one, the need to provide quality education through solid infrastructure to improve living standards for students in institutions of higher learning, which is in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. Secondly, the positioning of science, technology, innovation within this line ministry, which we think and which we believe is key to drive and propel infrastructure development, not only for students, but the country at large. The above two underpins Coraco's modus operandi. Our company and its partners have a unique focus in provision of state-of-the-art infrastructure, in particular student accommodation and its relevant support services. With clear footprints in South African institutions of higher learning, we believe the ministry's focus on building university towns provide yet a paradigm shift in our development path. And this is a unique focus which ascertains a good study environment for students at institutions of higher learning. With this path, social ills that affect our students will be a thing of the past. Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Professor Amon Muirwira, certainly following our initial engagement with your good office, I'm glad to report that 2 weeks later, already we deployed a delegation of technical experts to 7 institutions of higher learning to see on the ground the priority areas. What I've listened to today in the earlier presentations certainly reinforces our steps, baby steps, in ensuring that our strategic direction and intentions get fulfilled. As Coraco, we are certainly geared to start off with student accommodation, a mall, and a hospital school in the selected universities. In the area of science and technology innovation development, we have expressed our keen interest on innovation technology in the energy sector. Certainly, we are coming with our partners in no less than 1 month from now to define our clear path with Verify Engineering, your company in your line ministry, which has started innovative projects in the area of thermal power plant. Over and above the 5 million required in this area, Coraco actually has a bigger vision of actually having a mega thermal power plant, no less than 5 billion to start with, and of course, with the deployment of other renewable energy technologies, which can ensure an effective energy mix for this country. Zimbabwe is a country that needs foreign direct investments, and we are certainly geared to provide our own portion of support. Honorable Minister, your footprints of ingenuity at the University of Zimbabwe, which I've personally experienced, should be an epitome of science, technology, innovation in setting the developmental path that our nation needs. Putting on my other head, Program Director, as a diasporan, underscoring His Excellency's remarks that there has been enthusiasm from the diaspora community, and I'm representing that, representing the ZimSA Forum. Your Excellency, beyond the borders, frantic efforts are continuing to provide and promote and drive investment in the country. A number of platforms have been lined up in Cape Town and in Johannesburg and Pretoria with the thrust to demystify the negative perception about the beautiful country. And indeed, to bring on board positive impact through investment drive that is critical for the economy that we have. Some of our steps already have yielded benefits, and I'm sure you'd agree with me across different sectors, there have been some investors that have come out of our initiative as a forum in driving investment in the country. Last but not least, the Vice Chancellor is present, the students' community, and of course the government. Our advancement and commitment to drive high-quality education that propels development of our youth is key for the tomorrow that we need through our youths. The tripartite cooperation between the government, the private sector, the academic sector is key in fostering development and high learning environment for our students. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much indeed. This is a wonderful conference. Sweet music I'm listening to. The next presenter is going to be Nkosi Kona Holdings, South Africa. Nkosi Kona.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, the Chancellor of all state universities, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa. I assume it's not the correct pronunciation. Oh, okay. All protocol observed. I wish to express my sincere gratitude for not only the opportunity to attend this memorable conference, but also the opportunity to address you in this forum. Thank you very much for that. Having been fortunate enough to study at the University of Pretoria in South Africa, I'm able to identify with the importance and the need of tertiary education in one's life. I can identify with the fact that it changes your life. There's so much importance to it. And as the saying goes, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. And I think that is exactly what education is all about, and specifically this conference. We need to make a change, and that change is to feed your people for a lifetime. That brings me to my own motto, and not a slogan, because then it seems like there's a competition here. Definitely not the same. Simple as this: shift your horizon. If something doesn't work, change your perspective. If something is not like you've envisioned it, change your approach. But something needs to be done to remedy that problem in your life. For us as fellow Africans, international investors, development partners, neighbors, and in fact friends of Zimbabwe, it is very pleasing to see and hear and experience the fact that Zimbabwe is open for business. We recognize, acknowledge, and applaud Your Excellency, President Mnangagwa, and your government for the shift in the horizon of change here in Zimbabwe. And I think that is very important, because this shift of horizon in Zimbabwe is making it possible for a new dispensation. And the people all over the world is welcoming that. What is very important to us on behalf of our entire MACO consortium group of companies is the fact that we concur with the initiatives and with the ideology of government, as well as the speakers here today, that the education of our children is non-negotiable. It is very, very important for every one of us, because it is vital in their development of their own human being. For it will install certain characteristics, it will install certain traits, which will be beneficial for the future of this country. Now, the wise words of international icon and African hero, the late Mr. Nelson Mandela, springs to mind when he said, "Education is the most powerful weapon that can be used to change the world." Amazing and true words. Ladies and gentlemen, I think now is the time to use this weapon against poverty. I think now is the time to shift horizons in Zimbabwe. I think now is the time for change. And it might be a small step here today in the present, but I can assure you that it will be a giant leap towards the future. The government, and in particular the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, has expressed their wish to accomplish change, and we hear you. It is said that the doors will be opened for those bold enough to knock. Accordingly, it is today my great pleasure and honor on behalf of Nkosi Holdings and the MACO Consortium group of companies to answer that call. Nkosi Holdings is a consortium partner of MACO Consortium group of companies and is very, very privileged and fortunate to be involved in the CTX or Vectol project, also known as the Coal to Liquid Fuel project, under the auspices of the Honorable Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, Professor Morwera. We believe that this auspicious project will not only stimulate the local economy, it will not only generate critical employment and revenue, but, very important, it will become a pillar of hope and inspiration for the young generation, the future of Zimbabwe. Why do I say that? I say that because the magnitude of this project is immense. We will need qualified professionals such as scientists, engineers, accountants, and tradesmen, just to name a few. And we are confident that by creating much needed opportunities, the youth of this country will answer to this call and qualify themselves in tertiary institutions to participate in these opportunities for the advancement of this Vectol project, themselves and the country. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the MACO Consortium of Companies is thus proud to announce our commitment to this national status project of government. And we pledge an investment to the value of more than $5 billion United States dollars. It does sound surreal, but it is the truth. MACO Consortium of Companies, group of companies, is doing this with one aim in mind, and that is to change the circumstances of Zimbabwe and consequently change the lives of every single citizen of Zimbabwe. This might be a highly technical project with immense economic implications, but it is also an opportunity to shift our horizons with our socio-economic upliftment programs that will run hand in hand with this Vectol project. Ladies and gentlemen, Vectol is not just going to change the economy of Zimbabwe, it is going to change the society as a whole. And you will agree with me, it starts with our children. One example of many of our programs is our commitment to build daycare centers for your children, which will be STEM orientated. In other words, science, technology, engineering, mathematics orientated. That will be done for children from the ages 1 to 6. And the aim of this is solely there that they are well prepared for school, becoming confident learners by the time they get to school, providing for their physical, emotional, spiritual and educational needs, as well as tools and equipment to give them a head start in life. Our socio-economic upliftment programs will also emphasize the importance and the need of primary and high school and tertiary education. But our programs will also emphasize the upliftment of women in society and the protection of their rights via social programs in communities. Ladies and gentlemen, regarding our short-term vision for Vectol and our commitment to the education of your children, we foresee that this project will not only impact the financial well-being of every person in Zimbabwe, but we foresee that it will change everyone's perspective, specifically about government. It will create a positive attitude towards change in the country, and I believe especially among the youth. Our long-term vision is that Vectel, in our commitment to the education, would not only change the Zimbabwean economy into a thriving, developing economy, but through successful education of our children, there would be a change and a confirmation of their approach and their perspective of life and of people in general. In other words, there will be a shift of their horizons. There will be a reinforcement and a confirmation of the core values of integrity of every community and every single citizen of Zimbabwe. Ladies and gentlemen, we have worked very closely with the Honorable Professor Morwera and Dr. Sibanda the last month, and I must say I have the utmost respect for these two gentlemen, not only in their professional capacity as Honorable Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, and Permanent Secretary respectively, but as human beings as well. Fellow Africans who's working tirelessly for the betterment of you, their people, with their excitement, their enthusiasm, everything that we see within them, their way of life, and that makes it so much easier. And therefore, I would encourage any investor to commit to this government, and in particular this ministry, to aid and assist them shifting the horizons of education, science, and technology in this country, exactly like we will do. Your Excellency, Mr. President, I want to assure you, we as the MACO Consortium group of companies are 100% committed to this project. We are so much so committed to this project that a launch date of Vectel is set, but that it would be disclosed when the time is right. But our preliminary due diligence indicates that we may require additional coal reserves to complement the existing deposits in order to guarantee sustainability and viability of this project in the long run. And this is very vital. In closing, and I think you would be very happy about that, we wish to congratulate you, Your Excellency, and your government and their respective ministries, departments and entities for engaging the private sector in such a positive and supporting fashion. We agree wholeheartedly with His Excellency, President Mnangagwa's sentiments that change doesn't happen overnight. We believe one should not give up on a dream because it will take time to realize. And because time is precious, we need to use time productively. At the same time, we commend you, Your Excellency, for the excellent work you have done in your first 100 days of office. Our consortium acknowledges the significant indicators that show that it is possible to embark on change, and we pledge our support to the government, not only in the project, any other venture it may implement. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do what we need to do today. Let's do what we have to do today, for we don't know how many tomorrows there will be. I thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. I do appreciate this. This has been a staggering offer, and one couldn't avoid